All right, welcome in to the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented as always by Aria Health and Peruzzi Buick GMC. I'm here with Coach Mark Schmidt after a big first-round District 1 victory over Plymouth Whitemarsh, 42-21, a game that, if you looked at the records and you looked at where you guys seeded them, people may have thought maybe it was going to be a different outcome, but you guys went up there on a cool, brisk Friday night, and for the most part played a pretty clean football.
Yeah, you're right, Matt. I was happy with the way our offense and defense played. I'm very unhappy with the special teams. Both of those areas that concern me are basically two teams that I'm kind of in charge of.
Right.
And, so needless to say, yesterday we spent a good period of time on Monday taking advantage of the good weather and getting an awful lot of reps in and getting back on track. We kind of got short-circuited last week with, lack of practice, lack of space, and not an excuse, but they dialed up two plays on us that I think led to two of the touchdowns, and that's disappointing. In playoff football, you can't let that happen.
No, I mean 21 points against a very explosive offense all year that team was, and really it was 14 points that could have been taken away. It could have been 7 points with the block punt early in the first, but defensively, you guys keyed on them, 1,000-yard backs, and I think you guys did a pretty good job against them.
Well, we did, and I think the guys that were well prepared as always, and they're getting more and more confident. I think. The last couple of games, playing Abington, playing Pennsbury is getting us ready for the playoffs, and we had to bring our hitting shoes this week, and really attack these running backs and keep them where they belong because they're so dangerous. And early on, we kind of set the tone with that, and I was real happy with the way they played. I mean, I think we were able to wear them down a little bit, and then I was real happy to see, part of our defense was our offense, kind of moving the ball a little bit and chewing up the clock and running the ball pretty well and throwing it when we had to. And I think when those two things work together, it's it makes for hopefully a successful evening.
And that may be even more important this Friday as a team that's going to throw the football. We'll talk about that in the second segment. But offensively, I mentioned Hugh Hart before we came on. Is not the prototypical quarterback when you say he's a gunslinger, he's going to sling it all over the field. But the senior did manage the game very well on Friday. He had whole control of that offense, and he was a key cog of that 42-point offensive show.
He was, and I give him all the credit. And he really took the Pennsbury game to heart, and no pun intended. But he really took it personally, and just came out with a great attitude all week. And had really was excited, smiling, loose, happy on Friday, and ran out and ran our offense well. I mean, we did a lot of things to the line of scrimmage based on what they were giving us. We had some checks. We did do some things throwing the ball wise, and he made some great reads on it. And I think he kind of went in there with an open mind and had a lot of confidence. What I liked was I liked his attitude and his posture, and he did a great job. And we did a lot of things, like I said, where we make decisions at the last second, and as far as checking plays and this and that, and he didn't skip a beat. He didn't miss one of them.
One of the challenges for you as a coach, and I'm sure people told you this in the past, is that when you're coaching prep athletics and you're 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, is that you can't jump in their mind and fix what they're thinking about on a daily basis. How good does that feel, at least from my vantage point? You have guys like Hugh Hart and Justin Andrews and T. Valinsky and Brian Toll that mentally and seem pretty sharp, at least on and off the field for you.
Well, Matt, it kind of comes back. This week, you got a couple of these people that you haven't seen in a while. They've kind of hidden, and now they're coming out and patting you on the back. Hey, guess you're glad to be here. This is kind of sure I'm happy to be here. Okay, but. I've been telling these guys since Downingtown that we have an opportunity to do these things, and I think it took a while for them to figure that out. And coaches and myself, we were pounding these guys about, look, you guys could be pretty good if you decide to be. And I think, I want to say probably Ben Salem maybe from that game on, or even the week before, where they just kind of steadily found ways to win. Even the second half, Council Rock South, or even North, whatever. But I mean, all of a sudden it kind of clicked a little bit, and then all of a sudden, we've just started to play at a little better level. Right. And practice is tighter, and film sessions, the kids are on it, and they're looking at it, and they're reading it, and they're discussing, and they're not just sitting there waiting for looking at their clock and hoping to get out of there. I mean, they're seeing it and they're getting it, and then that's a feeling that as the head coach and as a coach on the team, you just want to have. That means the kids have bought in, and we really challenged our offensive line last week. They played lousy against Pennsbury, and they stepped up. And they got very physical, and they battled, and they played hard, and that wasn't pretty at times. We're not a sexy football team, but we kind of went at people, and we get after them, and we keep fighting. And I think if we keep doing that and keep improving in what we're doing, hey, maybe we can have some fun.
Speaking of things that aren't sexy or out of the norm, you guys use a lot of fullbacks, and I hate calling them fullbacks because
they're fullbacks.
Denny Lord and Blake Sullivan, Nate Hall. It was odd for me looking because I said you rarely see fullbacks from outside the 20s sustain a drive, and then inside your feature back finds creases.
Correct.
But Denny Lord and Blake Sullivan last week, what a great game!
They both did well, and there was some things that PW was giving us. I mean, we saw it all week. They're very aggressive, but they were kind of coming off the ball a little bit high, and we were getting underneath them and bouncing them out of there, and we felt we could dig those linebackers out of there, and so we took what they gave us, and those two guys don't disappoint. I mean, all year long they've been running that the inside plays pretty well and such, and we've been able to get pretty good at that. Now we've got to combat next week, because somebody, good teams will take things away, so we're thinking ahead and looking to try to do some other stuff with it. But for that night, hey, why throw the football? They're giving us the inside, just get it up in there, and they took care of the rest, and their blocking improved. I mean, that Carazola on the perimeter they had a real good player out there. There was some good matchup, the whole offense and defense with Luke, and he won that night, and really gave us what we wanted. And then the fullbacks were able to clean up and give Nate that crease, and we made some plays.
We'll see if we have more plays this Friday against CB South. BCB will have the coverage of Neshaminy and the CB South Titans. We'll take a short break and come back and talk about that game, an offense that it's kind of been the polar opposites of what you've been used to playing the last couple of weeks.
Scary.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. So we'll be right back here in the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented by Aria Health and Peruzzi Buick GMC. We'll be right back.
Jenny from Cherry Hill says that robotic-assisted surgery at Aria Health saved her life. When Jenny was diagnosed with lung cancer, her goal was to find the best surgeon and hospital with the most advanced technology to treat her. And she found it at Aria Health's Torresdale campus, where Dr. Richard Chang is the only surgeon in the region performing robotic-assisted thoracic surgery. She was also relieved to know that Aria has a minimally invasive robotic surgery center, eliminating a lengthy stay in the hospital. Thanks to Dr. Chang and Aria Health, Jenny is now cancer-free. To learn more about Jenny's story, visit ariahealth.org/Jenny. That's ariahealth.org/Jenny.
Hi, this is Larry at Peruzzi Buick GMC. You'll hit a home run every weekend at Peruzzi Buick GMC Service Department. Every Saturday and Sunday, Peruzzi Buick GMC is offering a standard oil and filter change for just $19.95. And remember, Peruzzi Buick GMC is open every Sunday from 8 to 5. Peruzzi Buick GMC is the home of the $34.95 Pennsylvania State and Emissions Inspection every day of the week. No matter where you purchase your car or truck, you can get it serviced 7 days a week at Peruzzi Buick GMC. And remember, we're open Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, welcome back into the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented by Aria Health, your hospital in the Lower Bucks County, as well as Peruzzi Buick GMC. Neshaminy, big winner at Plymouth White Marsh. We have a bigger test this week, and it'll be bigger each week as the playoffs grow. CB South Titans, a team that they're going to throw the football, to say the least. And they have the guys in space that can do a lot of good things, and it all starts with their dynamic quarterback, who really is a first-year starter after backing up a Virginia product last year. So it's been it's a crazy year for them, crazy year for you, and you're going to see an air attack, I'm assuming, on Wednesday.
Well, he's a gunslinger, and he's smart. He sits back there. He's cool. He processes it. You know, if the primary's not there, he'll create to make sure the secondary guy's there. And I think that's impressive. All their receivers, they run well. They get to where they have to be, and when it's their shot to catch it, they do everything they can to catch it. They're not a drop passes. I mean, they're fighting for the ball. And, you know, they go out and try to win that matchup. And but then, you know, if you have to play soft and play the pass, then they've got probably the best, most talented running back probably in Delaware Valley, and in Adams, and he is a special young man. He's a sophomore. He's got the program down. I mean, you know, if you soften things up, they take it inside. If you pack it in to take away the inside, then they get on the perimeter with him. And he is big, he's fast, and he's good. And other than that, you know, there's nothing much. But no, really, and it's they do it together. And you know, Dave Rackhovan's the head coach there. He's been there for a couple of years now. Came out of the college ranks, Notre Dame, for a long, long time. And he has really gotten these guys believing in what they're doing. And he's got that guy. Last year he had the other running back that did so well, and obviously the quarterback in Virginia. So he's got the Central Bucks as talented as it is. So he's got the guys, and now he's implementing his system, and you know, it seems to really, you know, be taking off.
You know, thinking about the training camp, and I came out and saw practices and saw a couple of scrimmages. I said, it seems like, and I mentioned it earlier in the season, it seems like your perimeter guys are ahead of the curve. And the last few weeks, you have played run-first offenses, and your interior has done phenomenal. Right. You know, now your defensive backfield's going to get tested this week, your outside backers, and I'm sure they're excited for the challenge, because the past couple of weeks, you know, I don't want to say they've been a non-issue, but it's been mostly run-first offenses. Now you're kind of flipping the switch and you're going to a pass-first offense. Right. Does that challenge you? As
it does. Used to? Sure. I mean, you throw it out there for these guys. I mean, they've been prepping all year, and you know, at times they've done well. At times they haven't, and you know, to their credit, they come back the next week and work to get better. You know, we've had a couple guys back in our secondary that's helped us. I think Cole Creighton has really, you know, stepped his game up. Early in the year, you know, he really wasn't off to a good start. Devin Brown was non-existent for 7-8 weeks. He's now really stepped up for us with that from Abington on, and is playing with a little bit of presence. Trokin, Bruce Mail, and Matt Maggs and Nick Zano. I mean, they're good backs that play well. So there's numbers and there's talent. So now you know, you try to implement that experience. You try to get them to quit looking at the big picture and look at their job. And you know, and then we've had Denny and Steve out wide at the outside backers. Well, shoot, that's 3 years and 2 years. So you know, so they're good players. So we've got to play football. We've got to line up. We just got to, you know, the coaches have been grinding on with these guys on film since Saturday, yesterday, and you know, we took advantage of yesterday, and for the whole team, got them in a little earlier, watched good film, and to get to understand what they're doing. Right. I mean, you know, we're not jamming it down their throat, but we want to understand the big picture, and that way they can go out and just play relaxed, you know. And but it all starts with that quarterback, and then you know, then it's number 12 with the ball. So they're the two guys, because you know, he can take it inside play and take it 80.
And let's touch on it a little bit. You guys have faced some good feature backs the last couple of weeks in Sean Pepper. You guys really eliminated for the most part, except for that one long run, I believe, in the third quarter. Okay. And Corey Kelly and Brown last week, both dominant 1,000-yard backs. You guys done a phenomenal job against really good, talented running backs. In your mind, is it more important this week to stop Pelegi from having open lanes to throw from, or to key on Adams too, you think?
Well, I think it's pretty much it's going to have to be a play-by-play decision. Mm-hmm. And situations. You know, you got to look at what formations they're in. You know, how they're set, and look at tendencies, and really kind of analyze that kind of stuff. And this is where it becomes a chess match, and this is where it kind of becomes, you know, let us try to do the thinking, and let the guys just play, and put them in position to go play. And you know, we've been working on that stuff, and you know, but it also, I think the best defense that can be provided is the offense going out there and moving the ball and taking opportunities, and you know, the 3 and outs and all that kind of stuff. You know, those things really have to be very, very limited, and you know, because you know, when these guys get a chance, they're going to go out there and do some things.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because we've been harping on this CB South offense, but you mentioned if you guys can control the clock and keep them off the field, and your offense is pretty much playing your defense. It's important to rack up points, I'm sure, against any opponent. What have you seen defensively from the Titans that maybe you haven't seen or can exploit? Maybe.
Well, what I've seen is they're very active and they're very sound. They don't take a lot of risks. They've blitzed one or two games, but they kind of just they really take care of their gaps. They play very square. They play tough, and they fill. They do a really good job of kind of filling you. Very rarely do you see them anybody break a big one, because they really do a nice job with those things. And that's credit to their coaches also. And when you get to this level, when there's 8 teams left in this, out of what, 48, you're going to be playing well-coached football teams, and you provide the talent on top of that, and this is kind of why you do it. So what the heck? Do
you put more pressure on yourself in playoff games?
Sure.
Than maybe the players do.
Well, I try to put it all on myself because, and that way our coaches can enjoy the experience and our players can enjoy this opportunity. Seniors get one shot at senior year. I mean, this is 18 for me. I've been in a few of these. So my whole thing is that I just want to make sure, that I try to cover everything, and I try to make sure that the coaches are aware of all the situations, and we go through things, and that's why I'm happy we got off to a good start yesterday with having a good chunk and good weather to really refresh our special teams and tighten things up a little bit, because we've neglected it with weather and time constraints and stuff, and hurricanes and you name it. So well, it has been. Last 2 weeks have been nuts. So and then Nor'easter comes, and we don't have school Wednesday. So so we needed to do that, and we were fortunate to do that. So now, we feel it's one thing you can check off your box.
A whole week of practice. That's nice.
Yeah, gee, what a concept. So you're right, man, and it's all, you put it all on yourself, because if you lose by a point, you're going home and collecting equipment. There's no redos. This is the only district tournament in the District 1 in sports that there's you don't get to a certain level and get playbacks and all that mess. I mean, you're done. You're collecting equipment. So the last thing I want to do is see these kids on Monday with their pads in their hands. I want to see them on Monday lifting weights and getting ready for the next one. So you're exactly right. This is what you do.
We'll see what happens on Friday night. CB South and Neshaminy on 1490 WBCB, also WBCB 1490.com. Before we leave, we're done the 3-question segment, obviously.
I was going to say,
we're done.
Wait a minute.
We're done. But 2 weeks ago, I had some pick'ems. You did horrendous, 0-3.
Well,
the fans demanded.
I did the politically correct.
The fans demanded you don't do it the next week. So I said, okay.
Let's not do it again.
But we're going to have to do it again now because they want more picks. Jeez. People are asking.
My Alabama team lost.
It was a bad. I mean, we should have done it last week because there was a lot of good games. But it's kind of probably better you didn't, because I'm assuming you probably would have went with Bama last week.
I would have.
Okay. So this week we're going to be a mix of kind of everything. We're going to mix a bunch of things in there. First game, a big one in Oregon, Hudson Stadium, Oregon-Stanford, offense versus defense. Who do you like? Have you seen their team yet? Have you seen Oregon's offense?
I love Stanford, but I don't think anybody can hold with that team.
Oregon.
I mean, as good as Texas A&M looked, Oregon's even scarier.
Yep.
And shoot, the way those guys, you just can't score enough points. And Stanford's good. Now there's a classic example. I mean, of a team that can slow it down and pound it and slow the game, but gosh, I mean, in Oregon they snap it every 5 seconds, I think. So it doesn't matter.
I see a lot of similarities.
You got to give the Ducks a little credit there, pal.
I'm seeing a lot of similarities in that game. Maybe the game on Friday night in Warrington, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, Eagles, Redskins. Been a rough season thus far for your Eagles. Redskins.
Eagles.
Well, our Eagles. You told me you're an Eagles fan.
I'm not an Eagles fan.
Who do you like?
Huh?
Who do you like?
Whatever. I'm not a pro guy.
All right, I know you know. But it's
you know what?
Pro pick.
You know
Eagles,
what?
Redskins.
That's a who cares game.
That's a good point. So we'll give
all
you
right,
Redskins.
I like RG3.
That's what
I like the guy. I like the way
Redskins.
he handles himself. I'll give Redskins.
College basketball. You a college basketball guy?
No.
That's all right. Well, it's 2 historic programs, 2 great coaches that you can admire.
Okay.
Duke versus Kentucky tonight. Coach K versus John Calipari. At least you can admire the coaches. Are you a Coach K fan?
Yeah,
Huge coach.
I like that guy. I think he's tough. He's good. He's a good dude, and you got to give Calipari credit. I mean, he's got a plan and he's sticking to it, and he's had success. But we'll go with Duke.
Duke, I love it because I'm a big Dookie, so I love it.
Duke.
All right, there you got it. So you got Oregon's offense, you got the Redskins, but who really cares?
How can you not choose for the Redskins?
What do you mean? Why? I know. You're right.
Hell
I
of a
know.
week. Huh? Oh,
Dude,
man.
right. The maroon confuses me with
This
things.
guy
So.
here. Come on.
And Duke, Joe Love. So thanks again for coming on. I appreciate
Sure,
it. For Coach Mark Schmidt, for Matt Miro from 1490 WBCB, for Aria Health and Peruzzi Buick GMC. We'll see you next week after a big victory against CB South.
We hope so.
Take care.
Appreciate it.